Hey, live listeners, we're late by an hour. Sorry about that. We had to do our interview for this episode with Wolverine Supplies ahead of the regular show. So, in order for you to hear all the cool stuff we talked about with Wolverine, you're just going to have to listen to the podcast. And now we're just going to kind of roll on with the regular show. It's all Adriel's fault. He did it.
It is. It is actually my fault. But it's good.
Yeah.
We talked about all sorts of stuff. Oh boy. All sorts of secrets and that kind of thing are in that podcast. You guys are just gonna have to tune in to find out what's going on with that.
And besides the secrets there aren't any. It's actually just good solid information. Please listen.
Oh, come on. What haven't you heard of clickbait before, Brian? You gotta
we had a whole discussion with John about the not clickbait. So we're not sabotaging that. We're not going. No, I'm not letting you ruin this. No, forget it.
Sizzle on. Come on.
Listen, I tell you what, you want to be the lead host, you can mess with this stuff, but we're not going to go with that. So, hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio episode 252 for April 12th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Brian the Conquistador.
And I'm Adriel the Hunting Gear Guy.
Alrighty. So, and it's just us because there was problems.
Yeah, I think Trevor was bitten by a rabid duck. I'm pretty sure that's what his Voxer message said.
That's what he said, but maybe he's just feeling shame because he did not do the winning on the weekend. Maybe. I mean, Captain Andy apparently does not feel shame. Captain Andy cooled out and happy, but Trevor maybe not as much.
Normally, this would be throwing shade, but I think you did pretty good on the weekend. So,
I got lucky. Yeah, I got lucky. Yeah, that's right.
What about Kelly? Where's she? What's her excuse?
I got a message said send lawyers, guns, and money. So I don't know what happened. She was in Arkansas with a llama, and I don't know.
That's what happened.
Yes, they take their llama theft serious in Arkansas. Yes.
Yeah. That's why she needs the guns and the money. She's going to break out of prison because Grand Theft Llama is you're looking 20 to life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, I do know, though, for the listeners, that Kelly will not be at a Maple Seed event this weekend because they canceled it because we're supposed to have the mother of all crappy ice storms this weekend. So they've said enough. They don't want people actually hurting themselves getting to the event. And I'm guessing they don't want to have participants encrusted in ice laying on the ground during an ice storm. I'm thinking.
That might be fun, though. That would be funny.
Funny for people watching from the warmth of anywhere but being there. Trust me, I know about shooting in the cold and the snow. It's not as fun as it sounds. Yeah.
I love shooting in the cold and the snow.
That's why we call you Frosty. That's how it's not because you're pale, it's because you actually like the snow. You're strange that way. Surely to God, you are actually tired of winter, though.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm tired of this year's winter. I'm done. I'm ready for some springish conditions.
I would take some sloppy mud right now. Anything.
It was 15 last year this time, and it's -10, -8. It's still snowing today. It's
Yeah, it's not good. The weather's almost as bad as your audio tonight. It's terrible. Yeah.
My audio?
Oh, yeah. You're breaking up all over the place.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm recording from my side and I sound fantastic. So
you do. You're right. Good. So, and that's what the listeners need is you to sound fantastic. That's what we're all about. So, hey, we should talk about what we've done in guns. And that, as always, is brought to us by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. This week, they are featuring Bravo Company gunfighter charging handles, saving $30. I like Bravo Company. They're decent charging handles. Not bad at all.
I've been thinking about getting a bigger charging handle. The charging handle I have on my rifle is just a regular little one. I kind of want a big, meaty one to grab onto.
Yeah, bigger is, to some point, is better. There's a sweet spot in there. You can get ridiculous and they become problematic. But I don't think so much for 3-gun, because you're not really running around with a gun slung and it doesn't get hung up on stuff. When you're done shooting your rifle, you throw it away in 3-gun.
Well, if you were to throw it away into a bin and catch your charging handle, that might be a bad thing, because then your gun might fall out or do something weird.
Yeah, or the charging handle could break, because it's not really meant to support the weight of your rifle while it's being chucked, from a distance. It's just
a real risk in 3-gun.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. The whole idea of, I'm done with this firearm. I'm going to now just discard it. It goes against a lot of logic, but I understand why, but it seems odd. Okay, cool. So why don't you get started then with what you've done in guns?
Okay, well, mine's going to be really quick. I did a silicon carbide job on my Browning A5 forend. So I think I showed the listeners my Glock. It's more of a black. It was very coarse grit on that one, very coarse. And what I ended up doing, I ordered some 60 screen. It's 60 grit stuff off of eBay. This would have been green stuff. So green has more coke in it. It's oxidized and better, but it's green. And I did like a little stripe kind of thing on my Browning A5. So I was watching some video of the last shoot I had, and my forend was bouncing around in my hand a little bit. So I put a strip of sparkly green sandpaper on the side of my gun, basically. Same deal as I did with the Glock. Strip of epoxy. Sprinkle this stuff on sprinkles on ice cream, and wait a day and you're good to go. So it's the grit, well, perfect. So if you're looking to do this yourself, 60 grit is fantastic. It's not too chunky. Like I think the stuff on my Glock is a little bit too chunky. Even this 60 grit though, like moving my hand on it, I feel it, and it's like, oh, some of the grit's coming off. And you look at your hand, and it's like, nope, your hand's coming off. The gun, there's no parts of the gun that are moving. Your hand is coming off, just touching the gun. But that's good. I don't care. I mean, this is competition gear. This is not meant to be like high comfort stuff. Hike through a swamp to go shoot ducks or geese with this thing. This is a 3-gun tool. So I am making it as such.
Nice. Yeah, I like it. And I like how you explained the reason for it, because it totally wrecked my joke about, great, you'll be able to slide the action on your pump gun so much better, but it being a gas gun, yeah. Way to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the, like, it's not that target loads in shotgun recoil a lot, but when you're shooting a lot, that recoil like starts to add up, kind of a thing, and sometimes it's jumping around. So a little bit more grip on that forend is a nice thing. I might still do the grip for your right hand. I'm not sure, because when I weak-hand reload, I need to spin this thing in my hand. So I'm just not sure how much surface I want to do and if I want to do it, because being able to move your hand around in the grip isn't a bad thing. So I don't know if I'm going to do that one or not.
You are such a rightist. The grip for my right hand. How about the strong hand or your dominant hand? How about anything, being left, right, neutral? Oh, no. Let's take a little shot at the lefties while you're talking.
My pronoun for my firearms is right.
No, but I agree, because you do have to do a lot of manipulation there. You probably don't want a bunch of extra grip. But it would definitely make sense to have it on the forend. Like, your hand gets sweaty, like in the heat, it's going to be a problem. And then when you're shooting in the winter, would you have a glove on that hand, or do you leave your hands free so you can fully manipulate things?
No, even in -25, I take my gloves off. Like, I'll leave gloves on, or I'll put my hands in my pockets to keep them nice and warm. And then as soon as it's showtime, I pull a jacket off and I'll shoot with a jacket, like with no jacket, with just a sweater on, even in -25. But immediately after I'm done shooting, I put that jacket back on.
You should get one of the tactical mufflers like I had this weekend.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at that. Yeah. How many holes does that thing have in it? 3?
No, just 2. Plus, actually, it's got a window, so you can sit there with your cell phone in your hand warmer, and because that's important when you're hunting. You should have your head down, not looking at game. You should be looking at Facebook or social media.
Oh, guilty as charged.
Yeah.
I look at my phone way too much hunting these days.
Well, honestly, that's the last time I went deer hunting. I'm like, wow, I'm freezing cold and I'm dealing with work emails. I should just be at work getting paid to deal with work emails instead of freezing my butt off here. I'm not doing it right.
About 5 years ago, I went out on the first day you could get out deer hunting. I went up to a stand. I rattled. I got onto my BlackBerry. It was still really early, and I started texting, or not even texting, emailing back then because texting wasn't a thing. People didn't like get it. So I started emailing someone. And I looked up, and there was a deer 10 yards right there, looking at me, watching me email people on my BlackBerry. So I shot him, but yeah, it's a it's a distraction you don't really need, and I should probably stop doing that. But,
yeah, no, I know, but now when I'm hunting with a group, you have your phone so you can keep in touch with the rest of your hunting party. So you got to kind of have it, and then I'm doing it wrong. So anyway,
and then you get on Reddit or Facebook, and it's like, oh man, yeah, there goes a half an hour. Anyways, let's see here. I ordered a holster for the Shadow. I think I'm going to get a Shadow 2.
Okay.
Now,
what's the difference? I know that the Shadow 2 comes with adjustable sights and the Shadow does not. What other?
I don't care about adjustable sights whatsoever.
Okay, fair. So why do you want a Shadow 2? It's supposed
to be really good. It's a lot heavier. So the Shadow 1 is 1.1 kilos. The Shadow 2 is 1.36. So it's quite a bit heavier there. And it's better. Yeah. It's undercut on the trigger guard.
Okay.
So your hand can come up a little bit higher, and it's cut a little bit more in at the back there. So your hand can squeeze up a little bit more and take more of that recoil straight back. Not much recoil because you're shooting 9mm, and the thing weighs a ton. But if I get it, I wonder if I would take it to the logical extreme and put brass grips on it and a funnel and all that stuff. Probably.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. No, you should do all those things.
I mean, I've sold a bunch of guns recently, so I suppose I could. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll do that.
And you should hold on.
There's some of the blue ones are on sale because I guess they're not doing the blue grips anymore. They're going to orange or something like that. So some of the blue ones are like $11.99.
That's not bad.
It's decent. It's decent. It's a decent gun. So I might buy one of those. And then
I'm sure Trevor will buy your Shadow 1. He already said that, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, this is the deal. He just sends the paychecks my way, and I keep a steady flow of guns going over there.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's a good deal for me. Let's see. Oh, I got a response on CGN for the Nork 1911. Let's see here. The response is, I want that 1911 spray tanned by Yolanda, then signed by her in the legendary motif saying Trevor sucks. So I think that might be a listener. I think that might be someone that knows the show. It's possible. Yeah.
It's completely possible.
It would be a very strange request for just a random CGNer to ask for that.
Well, Trevor is pretty famous.
Infamous?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
They're the same thing, right?
Kind of. No. Well, in Trevor's case, yes. It's fine. Okay. Yeah. So, and it's been widely established on the interwebs that he sucks. I'm not sure how that got started, but it is. I just roll with it.
You could Google it and you'll probably find stuff.
I probably could. I mean, he's not here to defend himself, so it must be true.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, it was a short week for me. What about you?
Well, I had a short but good week. I picked up a new sponsor. Matador Arms is now sponsoring me for the shooting season, so I will be shooting some of their products, and I'll have swag of theirs to hand out at events. So the first product I'll be using actually is their new Flare Stack muzzle device. It's a combination compensator and flash suppressor. So I'll be putting that on my service rifle, and Then the Stinger that I ran last year will go on my shorty 14.5-inch CQB gun, because that's where I really kind of want to be able to have a break sometimes and cover that up other times. So the Stinger is really more suited to that anyway. Let's see. Then I went out in a crazy snowstorm to shoot rimfire at crazy distances. We had the inaugural Canadian Precision Rimfire Series match this past weekend in Owen Sound. Luckily, we got a snowstorm the day before and the day of. Like, it was whiteout conditions driving to the event, which was awesome. And we actually had the wind. The snow came down so hard in the afternoon, we had to stop shooting because we couldn't even see the targets at like 100 yards. They vanished. So, yeah, it was a little extreme. Now, the snow was good in that it was a great wind flag. You could tell, where the wind was blowing in which direction. You could tell when it switched from left to right in a driving horizontal snow. It was cool. Let's see. So the event had about 10 stages. Didn't have about 10 stages. It had exactly 10 stages. The ranges were from about 75 yards to 325, and we shot just under 100 rounds. We had just under 20 competitors who showed up. Overall, things went pretty decent. My dope worked well. It's really important when you're shooting these types of events, PRS events, whatever, use the dope for the correct stage.
I'm pretty sure that's not legal in Canada just yet. But,
well,
I heard
elevation
in June or July.
dope. Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
Because I was using a wrist coach, so I would write down my adjustments for a given stage and put it in the wrist coach. And I thought I'd be smart, and I'll use both sides of the piece of paper, realizing that after that stage, I just take the piece of paper, flip it over, and use the other side. Take it out, use the other side at the next stage. Yeah, that was the part I missed. So as I completely zeroed a stage because I was using the dope for a previous stage on it, and I didn't realize until I was done. I was like, no way. So yeah, I totally missed. I totally zeroed one stage doing that. So now, and zeroing a stage, not highly recommended. Not the best way to win an event. Zero is never the optimal score.
Usually you should go for some points per stage.
Yeah, no, it was good. And luckily we had a bit of just because of my mental, I was losing it at myself about it. The RO did let me at least shoot after everyone else was done. I got to go back and shoot a couple rounds just to verify that I could actually hit the targets if I used the right dope. So it made me fine. I was cool about that. There was another stage where something went kind of wonky, and I timed out or something, and then I got the command to unload and show clear. The RO didn't specify how I was supposed to unload, so dumping the rest of the mag down range was the way that I chose to unload. It was fine. It was, again, I didn't not do it. No. He didn't say and remove the magazine. He just said unload and show clear. So I did. I unloaded. Anyway.
That was very nice of him not to disqualify you, as he should have.
Well, one of those things. I highly don't recommend it either, but everyone kind of looked and went, yeah, okay, we know what happened. It's fine. So I also learned that it's okay to hold off for wind using the edge of a target. But as your target gets smaller, you should stop doing that, because eventually you run out of adjustment because the edge that you're holding gets closer to the middle, and then you start missing on the other side of the target. So I learned that kind of the hard way too. So there was a few lessons. Lessons are good. It's good to learn things. And in the process of learning things, I kind of won the event. I did the most goodest or the least baddest. So I took the I took the overall and in the open division. I beat all the other podcasters who were there. So that was a bit
number
satisfying.
One podcast host at Canadian Precision Rimfire.
It's possible that I beat the entire cast of the Canadian Patriot podcast. Some of the show. Yeah, it's possible. Actually, they did well. Actually, yes, I edged the rest of the podcast by just a few points. So they all shot pretty decent, and there wasn't a big gap between production and open class in this event for sure. So
most of you guys running semis or bolts or
Most bolts. I think probably the largest number of rifles was Savage Mark IIs, and then followed by 1022s. So
yeah.
We did make the observation of the one production shooter. Beware the man with the shiny bolt knob. He's spent some time using that rifle if he's worn the anodizing right off it. So he took the production title, and yeah, again, he wasn't very far behind us in open class. So that was good. So yeah, that was cool. I got this cool medal. There it is.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, I like it. It's good because there's been some people chirping at me, from the event. Chris, I know you're watching, and my response was, "I can't hear you over the sound of my medal."
There's been so many things that I've learned from watching the Facebook group of the CRPS. It's CRPS, right?
CPRS, yeah.
CPRS? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. Anyways, I've learned so much from it.
Oh no, CRPS. Right here on
yeah,
the thing.
CRPS. I've learned so much from just watching the Facebook group there, and I've stolen many ideas. There's one that you guys that was on the Facebook group just recently where they ask for opinions on like what was your favorite stage afterwards, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. I'm stealing that idea.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's pretty well organized. Rick does a good job, and it was a really smooth event. It ran well. He had lots of help. We had dedicated ROs for the event, which made things go really, really smooth. All the scoring was done on Practice Score, which for the most part worked really, really slick. I mean, we had figured out who won within about 2-3 minutes after the event finished, and we had the results sent back to us within right after dinner. So that was good. It was a great way to spend the day. There was also a YouTube video guy there. He shot video for the whole event, and I forget the name of it. If any of you are friends of mine on Facebook, you'll see it. I posted it there. It's been kind of spread around. So that was cool. So it got people to kind of see a little bit what we were up to. So that was neat. Also,
was Rick taking photos there?
Rick was taking photos, and he had other people taking photos, and the camera worked this time. The camera was awesome this time.
Well, I noticed some really nice photos of you that you had posted on there. So it's like, that must be Rick or one of those guys.
Well, yeah, he makes it. Actually, it wasn't all Rick, but when the camera was set up properly, as opposed to not properly for the last event, it totally wasn't Kelly's fault that there was no pictures from the previous event. But it's funnier to blame her, so we're gonna just stick with that. Just roll with it. So,
yep.
And a quick, I have to give a shout out to my buddy Greg, who was at the event. He gave me a 20 MOA rail for my 1022. He insisted that it was a gift because he said Trevor gets all kinds of free crap, and now it's my turn. So I'm good with that. It's it's a little bit of vindictiveness in it. I'm all down with that. It's all. It kind of goes with my nickname that Rick gave me at the event. He decided that I am now BB Hate. I think that works for me. I can roll with the hate. It's all good.
There we go.
All right. Whew. Good thing Trevor wasn't on, because that was a long chat about what I did. So, all right. We should get on to upcoming events. Adriel, have you got any cool new 3-gun stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, the first one is Chaz 3 Guns doing an event on April 21st. So I was talking with you at the just at the break here. We just started doing Practice Score this year, and it's like we're getting a crazy amount of interest in 3-gun this year. Last year, the year before that, it was just like kind of show up and you're ready to rock and roll. This year, we decided to go to Practice Score and like try to standardize a lot of stuff. And we're getting crazy amounts of response. Last year, we never got any event over 40 people. Their first match was 47, which is too much. So we capped it at 40, and we've got a wait list of like 20 people for this thing. And I opened the next opened automatically because it's 30 days from today. It opened this morning at 8, and it was full by 11.
Wow.
Which is not what's supposed to happen with a 3-gun match. So yeah, we gotta figure out how to accommodate more shooters, because there's a ton of interest in this thing. I think 3-gun's fun. So anyways,
I wonder, like, did the news get out that you had to turn people away last year? Or did you actually turn people away, or did you just try and
turn away people last year or the year before? Is just show up and you're in.
Okay, all right. Even if you had too many people, but yeah.
No, like we never had, like, but our years before we didn't have too many people.
Right.
Our first match this year, it was like, whoa, wait a minute, 47. That's a lot of people. How are we gonna allocate for that? How are you gonna design stages for that, right? Because you need to design shorter and shorter stages if you have too many people and not enough bays, right? So, we're trying to adjust to this new normal of like a ton of people being really, really interested in it. I think we're going to try to get some more skills and drills, like training days kind of thing as well, just to get some of the new guys to get their skill level up, so that when they show up, they shoot faster as well. Because that'll help with their overall day's time as well. If everyone's a little bit better at shooting 3-gun and a little bit more practiced, right?
Yeah. We found the same thing with CQB. Like, as the years went on, everyone just got more efficient at doing all the stuff they needed to do to get ready to shoot, and it just went off really fast. So
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. So if we can up the skill level of everyone, or the comfort level of everyone with shooting at an event, then it all goes much faster.
Yep.
Let's see here. Mighty Peace 3-gun is having an event same day. That'll be at the Wapiti Shooters Club in Grand Prairie. Lakeland 3-gun is the weekend after, April 28th. Oh, I should go to that one. Valcartier Multi-Gun is on April 28th. That'll be on Practice Score as well. Medicine Hat will have a match on April 28th. Lethbridge will have one on April 29th. And yeah, that's enough. That's all of April. So that's there's a lot of 3-gun matches. It's kind of funny. It's very much like a Western thing. Aside from Valcartier, all of those are in Alberta or BC. So they're all kind of in my neck of the woods. So it's good for me. I'm kind of like stuck right in the middle. I can go south. I can go to a match. I can go east to a match. I can go north to a match. Northwest, west. It's like matches all over the place.
Yeah, I wonder why that is, because I don't hear about a lot of 3-gun events in Ontario. I know they're happening, but there's also just like a pure shotgun league in Ontario.
Yes, right. Something
like that. Yeah. So
shooters, something.
Yeah, the Patriot Podcast guys are involved in it. I don't know. I don't actually own a shotgun right now, and I don't have any more time to fit in another sport. So yeah, not for me.
Yeah, I mean, I like the shotgun aspect of 3-gun, but I also like everything else. I like the leveling up of the different bars, right? You got like 3 bars: your pistol shooting, your rifle shooting, your shotgun, and trying to like I'll bring those all up and work on the one that you suck at the most.
Yeah, well,
it's fun.
Yeah, and we got to see you shoot last year at the charity event, and you shot really well. I was like, wow, yeah, he's no slouch. So
decent. Cool. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, anyways, that's I think that's it for 3-gun.
All right. CFB Kingston Pistol Challenge is on in support of Soldier On. That's on May 5th. It's $30 for members. Guests are $50. Guests have to be either military or law enforcement. There's door prizes and a lunch. You can contact the base Kingston Shooting Club at gmail.com for details. One of the things I pulled off of their Facebook page is that frangible ammo is required since they're shooting at steel targets, and so
at close range.
Different type of event. Haven't run into one of those before. And since I'm not military or law enforcement, I won't be going. So, but if you're interested in supporting Soldier On at a pistol event, get after it. Go and have some fun.
I was looking up the cost of frangible ammo after our last episode when we were talking about lead there. And in the States, it's surprisingly inexpensive. You can get bulk frangible ammo for your AR for more than your typical blaster ammo, but not that much more. like for a $50 or $75 premium for 1,000.
No, that's not out of the realm, and that's for like obviously 55 grain frangible. So
yes, yeah, just blaster ammo, but kind of neat. You know, I was thinking like, you know, if you're gonna do a 3-gun course or something like that and have some really close steel, you could do it. You just need to buy a crate of that and like include it in the match fee or something, right?
Yeah, everybody gets their box and off they go. Yeah. Well, the trick is you have to make sure people don't accidentally or deliberately not load the frangible when they're supposed to load frangible. So,
you just DQ them.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it'd be nice to DQ them without having your steel shot to crap first.
Yeah, it's a risk with shotgun targets. So with shotgun and 3-gun, there's the risk that someone might put a slug into like a really close target, which is not a dangerous thing. It's like the lead from the slug just shatters when it hits AR 500. But it's not good for some steel targets to be hit from like 10 yards away with a 1 ounce slug.
Yes.
But actually, Demolition Ranch is a kind of a semi-famous YouTuber, and he got DQ'd from one of his 3-gun matches on YouTube from putting a slug into a pretty close target.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it's all about management of your equipment. Yeah. For Latchy course, do you want to talk about that? Do we have some solid updates? Yeah.
Yeah. So the update is that we're going to use the private range near St. Paul that we used not last year, but the year before. It's a pretty killer setup. There'll be camps. Like when I say campsites, there's going to be a field right next to the range. So if you want to haul your trailer out to St. Paul, if you're driving up from Calgary or something like that, or Saskatchewan, there's a field where you can park your trailer. And the range is an extremely short walk from where you'd be camping. So really excited to get there. The nice thing about a private range too is that there's not really anyone else shooting. So if you want to, you can take your ear protection off and talk in a normal voice, and you don't have to be like getting shots, kind of competing with you when you're trying to talk about things. So that's happening. We're also going to have a pub night at Brewster's the Thursday or Friday or something like that in West Edmonton. We'll have more details on that stuff as we get closer here.
Awesome. Okay, we will put in a quick reminder here about the 3rd annual Ryan DeGroot Memorial Steel Challenge that's being held on June 2nd at the Restigouche Gun Club. USPSA Steel Challenge rules and stages, $20 fee. Registration is at 10 a.m. For more info, email restigouchegunclub@gmail.com. I'm going to trip over that word all day. My ability to pronounce French is poor. So, yeah.
Well, it's not even a French pronunciation.
Yeah, anyway, Trevor can talk about this, and again, Trevor should be here to cover this. So it's his fault, listeners. Blame him.
You're doing him a favor. Mispronouncing his club name.
Yeah, not much of a favor, yeah. And the charity shoot, July 5th and 7th. You've heard about it lots. Come donate money to the Dalhousie Regional High School Breakfast Program and have a whole lot of fun. Shoot some maple seed. Yeah, we'll talk about it again later. No doubt.
Cool. Yeah. The stuff below here is more about the Ferlacci. Yeah, it's July 14th and 15th in the St. Paul area, which is just east of Edmonton, and they'll be camping there. So if you want to camp or whatever, that's cool.
All right, cool. All righty. Let's get into the news.
Yeah.
SLRs may be delayed.
Maybe.
That's what we've heard. Kind of Calgary Shooting Center has indicated there will be a delay on delivery until the end of May. Mm-hmm. Haven't really heard anything from the manufacturer yet, but kind of go with that.
Yeah.
Bit of a delay. Not terribly unexpected with the delivery of a new product. No. There are hiccups, so stuff happens.
You're an engineer. You run big projects, and do you ever run into project delays, even on like a really well-planned large project?
Well, yeah, but the client always blames me.
Well, that's good. It's your fault, but
well, yeah, no, but I mean, with any manufacturing, and you know, you're always dependent on somebody for something, some parts, raw materials, whatever. So, and when you're manufacturing, say, a firearm, you actually need 100% of the parts in order to assemble that firearm and be able to ship it out. So, even if you've got 99%, you got nothing, really. You know, so I can see stuff happening. So anyway, it's people will just have to be a little more patient. Hopefully the delay will be minimized and people will be able to get a cool non-restricted receiver in their hands quickly and then build up some kind of cool dream gun. Sounds like fun. And I'd love Trevor to be able to actually start using his parts that he has probably still laid out on his floor in his gun room.
Just waiting
for a receiver to get inserted in the middle. Yeah, it's cool. All right, new gun stuff. You want to take this first one?
Yeah, so we reported on the ATRS upper and lower that they were coming out with, but we got it wrong. We said that they were coming out with their modern Varminter upper and lower, and they're going to sell that separately, but it's not. It's actually a different product. This is called the Modern Sporter. So this is something that actually a listener had messaged us about to correct. And so this is, again, upper and lower, non-restricted. And the update that just happened last week was that they're looking at an FRT within 120 days or less. So they're about 4 months out from getting an FRT on this thing. So pretty cool. Yeah, and news, like I didn't know that it was anything different than the Modern Varminter, but I guess it is. So cool. More choice out there, and another option for Canadians, right?
Yeah, more choice is always good. Absolutely. Speaking of choice, let's get to the next one. Sig Sauer P226X X5 limited edition Black Nugget. Wow, this is a crazy looking. Okay, so people look up the Sig Sauer P226 and then pimp it out, like gold inlays on the slide, gold trigger, gold slide release, safety.
Well, just hang on for a second. I'll share my screen.
And
yeah, look at that. Look at that guy there. Woo! Woo!
It is now it's pimped tastefully. Yeah, like that's how I'll say it. Goodness gracious. And it's a bargain at $4,200 plus tax. Wow.
Are excellent. I don't know if you've had a chance to handle one or shoot one.
Yes,
but
I have.
They're pretty good. And this is a limited edition. This is for someone who wants something that's really, really unique.
Yeah, this would be the definition of bespoke, the actual definition of bespoke, correct?
So this is in the same class as my gun. I understand now. Okay.
Yes, actually, your Norinco at only $1,500 is actually a bargain. Like people should be all over that. I'm surprised it's not a bidding war. What's that?
1,500 was too low. I had too much interest. I had to bump the price to 2,000.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. All right. Or would you trade it direct for like a Shadow 2?
No. I'd sell it and buy 2 Shadow 2s.
Oh, nice. Oh, man, that's bold. All right. This next one sounds like more like you because it's for 3-gun.
Supplies has been restocked with Invictus Practical. This is I really like Invictus's shot shell carriers. They're really practical. Shot shell carriers within 3-gun are something that you need, and something that that definitely speeds up your shotgun running. So they've got them. A lot of this is like, I think 3-gun's popular because when dealers get this stuff in, it goes pretty quick. And at the start of the year, they don't have any. Like, it's all gone. So must be selling pretty good.
Yeah. And the price on decent carriers is not low. It's not a bargain.
No.
It's not a cheap thing to get into, but yeah, no, good performing equipment is in demand by people who want good performing equipment. Speaking of which, are you running like good performing equipment or the stuff that you, the eBay modified stuff still?
Some of it's good. The belt I'm running is a double alpha belt. The holster is all like Blade Tech stuff, which isn't like super, low drag, high speed stuff. It's just basic, but it's fine. I would say my shotgun is about right for the price point. It's a $1,500 shotgun just for 3 guns, so it's not cheap. But yeah, some of my equipment is still pretty inexpensive, cheap and cheerful stuff. My mag pouches are cheap and cheerful. My shot shell carriers are cheap and cheerful, and it shows. I broke some tines. They've got like a plastic cup kind of thing for putting the shot shells in, and the plastic on them has snapped on a couple. I mean, minus 25 and like really reefing on that stuff, and the plastic doesn't like it. So one day I'll get some nicer stuff.
Nobody likes it when they're being yanked on at minus 25. Like, just nothing is happy about that. That's just no.
It would be, but
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Delask Arms has an update on their Tough 22. I'm not clear what a Tough 22 is, but
it's their 1022 that takes a different style magazine, so you can run regular or extended size magazines again. So that the Ruger 1022 Charger came into country, and they're like, oh, well, these magazines were clearly made for a pistol, so 10 rounds for everyone.
Yes.
But the Tough 22 does not have a pistol, so it's only a rifle, and therefore you can run decent sized magazines in them.
Okay. And then otherwise you still have the same bevy of accessories and stuff. Okay, cool. And it's got the 1022 reliability.
Yeah, they are like pretty reliable. The last it's by all other means a 1022.
Okay, yeah, just accept a different magazine. Okay, cool. Alrighty.
Yeah, they might have changed a couple of other things. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what the update was. I think it was an update on their magazine manufacturing. Yeah, they're having HC3R produce the magazines, and looks like they're receiving them in June. So, yeah, coming up.
Cool. Let's see. We have 4GT has their $3 shell catchers.
Yeah, the brass catchers.
Brass catchers. Yes. Okay. Awesome.
So have you catchers? Like I've got the starts with an M. Midwest. No. I've got a brass catcher. It's nylon. It's like a mesh kind of a bag.
Yeah.
And it melts. The brass goes into it and it melts on the plastic.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good. And you have to strap it to the gun.
Yep.
Whereas the $3 ones, you buy an adapter, and then when you want the brass catcher on there, you put it on and take it off, and it's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I refer to brass catchers as stoppage inducers, so I don't run them at all.
Some of them do that, but imagine you're at the range sighting in with your really nice prepped brass that you trimmed and you uniformed the flash hider and all this stuff. And instead of saving that brass, you're throwing it 20 feet.
Yep.
To the end. You can't tell you're 223 away from anyone else's. And, if you were to paint it, then that would cause stoppages as well. Because now you got paint flakes like chipping off in your action and going down into your trigger group and whatnot. So,
okay. My solution is once the brass comes out of my gun, I treat it as if it's somebody else's brass, and I just prep it the same way. I don't mess around with trying to sort and keep my brass and keep them separate. Like my brass goes in a 5-gallon bucket, and then I prep it, and that's just me.
There's a psychological effect called sunk cost fallacy, where you've sunk your cost into it and you like give it more value than you really should. And I suffer from that. When I prep a 223 brass, it takes a long time, and it hurts me to lose that brass. So I would rather run crappier ammo than lose the brass I put a lot of time and effort into.
Okay.
That's why I really love just running bulk 55 grain stuff, because then it throws the brass and I'm like, I don't care about that brass.
See, you're the type of person I want to shoot service rifle against, because you're going to save money and shoot crappy ammo. So even if you're a better shooter than me, your ammo is going to just fall apart and not group well. And yeah, whatever. Do
you think my 55 grain blaster stuff will be good enough for a match out to 300 meters?
Depends on the wind that day. Sure, might be fine. And it depends on how big your targets are. Like you said, like we talked about last week. If you're just trying to hit steel, okay, giddy up. That's fine. No worries, because you're not trying to group, 2 or 3 MOA. You're trying to hit, the chunk of steel that's 18 inches wide, say. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you hit it. It all counts the same. So.
Yeah. I got some 70 grain stuff, but then I got to run a different zero, and my 55, yes. I can hit at 300 on a decent sized plate just over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot to be said for that. So don't stress out about it. If it's getting you the hits you need, it's good enough. You don't need to try and fine tune and get. I know some people get all crazy about, I gotta really get these grouping really tight. Okay, why? As long as you're hitting your target, that's what matters. Yeah. It's just go with the worst ammo your sport will let you live with. That's it. Funny thing that came up at the match. Guys were talking about a different stage, and they're like, well, "What magnification are you running on this one? And what magnification are you running on that one?" And I'm like, 5 power. What do you mean 5 power?
Yeah, I thought I read that right. Did you run a 1.5 to 5 match?
Yep, that's what I have. I mean. I had the scope. I've had it for years. I used it for service rifle. I've shot it out to 500 yards with success, but this rifle was not built for a precision rifle shoot. That came later. This was a rifle for me to plink with my kids and to shoot maple seed with. So
that's so funny.
Whatever. I mean,
1.5 to 5.
Yeah, whatever. It's now. I eventually will get a better scope with more magnification, because I realized it would be nice to be able to see where I'm hitting on a target, so then I can further, read my wind. And I just can't do that at a very far distance with a 5 power scope. You just can't. But I can resolve an 18-inch wide IPSC plate at 300, no problem with 5 power. You don't need massive magnification. But anyway, It's good enough. Better would be better, but it's what I got for now. So. All right.
Well, I mean, I'm like, for 3-gun, I'm shooting a 1 to 6 out to 300, out to 500. But yeah,
for years I shot my Elcan to 500 with a fixed 3 power. Okay, fine.
Yep.
I never had a problem hitting the center of that target at 500. So now it's not a really small target either. So finding the middle of a 4-foot screen isn't that hard. So it works for what it works for. Next one we have here, Canada Ammo has a flash sale on Swiss Arms mags, $200 for 10. Now, this being a flash sale, when was this, and is it still on?
It was on yesterday. So is it still on? It is. Yeah. It's their black nylon 10 packs, and they're $200 for 10. $20 a pop.
That's not bad for Swiss Arms mags.
Swiss Arms, so these are inexpensive, relatively.
Yeah, as long as they work. I mean, any mag, as long as it works, is good, right?
I'm curious if... Oh, they still have it in stock. Look at that. They've got some bulk, non-corrosive 7.62 by 39 for $349
for 1,000.
Yep. So this is pull down. They, I think what they do is they bring the stuff in from China. They swap out the primers and put all the stuff back in them and call it a day. And that's decently cheap.
That's a lot of work.
Around. Yeah,
that's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, for whatever they're buying and selling these for us, that's a lot of work. But decent deal.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Crazy. All right. Well, that's all the new gun stuff. We should get over to the main topic, and this is the point where Adriel will edit in our awesome interview with Wolverine Supplies. And we're back. That was a really fun interview. I'm excited about this rifle. I think it's going to be a solid performer.
I'm just trying to think of something weird to throw the live listeners off.
Like I didn't,
but I'm not going to do it.
Oh, come on!
Now. No, the interview was great. I really agree with the philosophy that they're going with, and I really agree with how they're choosing to develop that rifle. So, I would say I'm excited. I've already pre-ordered, so I put my money where my mouth is, and can't wait for it.
Yeah, cool. Just out of curiosity, outside of 3-gun, what are you going to use it for? Or are you even going to use it for 3-gun?
Shooting coyotes.
Shooting coyotes. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Because when I call coyotes in, I'll call one or more. So like one to the most I've seen is 3, and with a bolt gun, number 2 and number 3 are a little bit tricky because they tend to run when you shoot them.
Funny.
So yeah, you shoot one of them in the face, and the other 2 are like they don't stick around and try to figure out what's going on. So a semi-automatic would be excellent, and especially one that's decently accurate. So if I can get something that's varmint level accuracy, I will be tickled, because that's really what I want to use that thing for.
Cool. Now, when you say varmint level accuracy, what are you kind of thinking of that?
I need like an 1.5 or an inch at 100 meters.
Okay.
But like 1 MOA.
1 MOA, right?
Somewhere I can use that to engage coyotes at 200-300 yards, which is really typical for me. Like a lot of guys will hunt coyotes in close at about 100 yards. Where I hunt, it's mostly open fields, so I need that 200-300 yard capacity to take them. And 300 yards with something that's 2 MOA or 3 MOA isn't really good enough. So I need something that's 1.5 or 1 ideally.
Now, are you going to put one of the brass catchers on so you can catch your nicely prepared brass that you're going to use? Because I'm assuming you're not using the cheapest bulk ammo to shoot coyotes.
No, the cheapest bulk ammo tends to be FMJ, and we'll probably just poke a hole through. So I'll probably need to use something better. No, I don't care about 1 or 2 cases, so I'd be okay with that. It's when you're shooting a 3-gun match and you have to blaze off like 50 rounds and 50 cases just go off into the grass that just hurts a little bit.
So you use a brass catcher for 3-gun? Really?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
I throw them into the grass. I use my blaster ammo.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'm wrong. I apologize. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm curious. Well, I'll be curious to hear about like your load development techniques and what ammo you use in that rifle to kind of suck down the group size and stuff. So,
well, I mean, if I have to change barrels to get to that 1 MOA, if that's what I have to do, cool. That, like, no problem. A new barrel is not an expensive component for an AR, and if that's what I have to do, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. No, it's and we know a guy who makes barrels.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of, I have my Savage 10 TR in 308. Does he do Savage prefit?
I think he might.
I was watching that video of Ryan on how he makes his barrels, and there's some video on YouTube that has like hundreds of thousands of views, and it's Ryan like showing the guy around the shop. It was really cool to see kind of some of the equipment and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm curious to know if he runs those Savages, because what I'd be curious about is reach to 6.5 Creedmoor in a little of a profile, because right now it's like a really heavy barrel profile. But I'd be curious about like a medium, like just not heavy barrel, not light, just like medium weight in a 6.5 Creedmoor, because that would be killer for PRS.
Well, you know what? Just message him or email him or something, and he will give you the straight dope on that stuff. And I'm pretty sure they're set up for doing Savage stuff. Yeah, pretty sure.
Cool.
Shouldn't be a problem for him at all. So, and you're basically so close, you can almost drive over and pick it up and come back. It's what, 10 hours for you, something like that, to Vancouver.
Where's he based out of?
Vancouver, somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's like 16 on a good day, but yeah. Put it in the mail.
We'll see. Yeah, see what happens. All right, cool. Let's get into listener feedback. I'll take the first one here from Crypto Miner. Hey guys and Kelly. I love the podcast and I have been listening to the show since its very beginning. I enjoy the camaraderie on the show and your refreshing views on current events. I would like to support the podcast. Have you guys considered adding a privacy cryptocurrency address to your website? This way, like-minded libertarians and listeners who care about privacy could support the podcast with a donation using a privacy cryptocurrency such as Monero and Bitcoin Private. This would require no change to the website except posting your public wallet address on the support page, and 100% of the donations would be yours with no third party involved. Same technology could be added to the CCFR website and brochures for quick and easy private donations. The community appreciates the great work you are all doing. Cheers. Thanks, Crypto Miner. I have no idea about cryptocurrency, not my bailiwick. What about you, Adriel? Are you up on cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I'm using some of it, but sounds like some work though, and I don't want to do more work on crypto donations or whatever.
I'm going to leave it in your hands because I'm just a temp. I have no power over this stuff. So,
yeah, sounds hard. Sounds hard.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds to me like it's something you assign to somebody who's not me. So it doesn't sound that hard to me.
Okay, Trevor, figure out this cryptocurrency thing. Will you, when you're listening to this episode, could you figure out cryptocurrency? Just like make a block for it.
Yeah, make that happen. All right, you want to take the next one?
Sure. From Russ. First of all, I want to begin with the fact that I enjoy Slamfire Radio and have great respect for Trevor. I disagree with restrictions, whether in Canada or the US. Whether bomb stocks or lead, the socialists are doing what they can to erode our gun rights. One compromise at a time, they are compromising our human and civil rights to take away our gun rights and self-protection. Self-protection is a God-given right and does not have borders and concerns all of us. I've seen my rights eroded one at a time, and it has to stop. The excuse that it does not affect me is not the mentality that is going to protect our rights, but compromises them. The lead protection restrictions are not for health protection, but just part of the socialist agenda to achieve total control of our gun rights. Please, Trevor, don't compromise my rights Don't compromise my rights to protect your rights, as this is how the socialist agenda of divide and conquer is based. By the way, brass prep does suck. Sorry about the rant, but thought this needed to be said. Still, you love you, Russ from Big Lake, Alaska.
Yeah. I'm not going to really defend Trevor, but I don't think that Trevor was all, yay, let's ban lead. I don't think
it was just
I
like,
that.
if and we are resigned to the fact that it's happening, here's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would rather have the option. I would rather have the option for all of the above: hunting, target shooting, everything. Yeah. Because lead is better for some things. And I mean, if you take, like, if they said, hey, hey, you guys, stop poisoning the eagles, I would do some stuff to stop that.
Yeah, I know. I do find that some of their claims about eagles dying from eating, gut piles from hunted animals. I'm sorry, but I'm not seeing that there's enough animals in North America being hunted that eagles are going to be that's going to be a big source of lead for them. I just don't.
Well, not in Canada. I was talking with another guy. Oh, I can't even remember where that conversation was. And he was saying like the amount of elk that'll come out of like Montana is huge. Like tens of thousands of elk are hunted in just the state of Montana. So like the volume might be there, but yeah, there definitely needs to be like a risk analysis on like how, like what's the real risk, how much of it is due to this, and what's the cost benefit analysis look like?
Well, and how much lead is still being left? Like, you're not shooting an animal in theory in the gut. You're shooting it in other places. Like, how much lead is being left at after you gut an animal? I can't see it being all that much. Like,
well, it depends on the cartridge. It depends on where you hit them. Like the worst possible case scenario would be running something like a 300 Win Mag with a 150 grain regular core and
cup and core, yeah.
And that would cause a bunch of that 150 grains. There wouldn't be a lot left at the end of it, because hit from close range, that thing's just going too fast for that kind of construction, right? But if you were to look at like a 180 grain lead bullet in a 308, not that much. It's slow. It's packs a punch when it hits, and it doesn't slough off a lot of that lead.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I would, for hunting personally, I would almost just as soon go with a copper for most, for hunting big game. It's just, you're not using a lot of ammo, and there's nothing there. Now, I did used to shoot waterfowl, and certainly hunting with other than lead didn't work as well. It's
hunting with steel sucks.
Yeah, it's not.
It's so slow, and you have to go with like huge BBs compared to what you used to be able to get away with lead, and it's just not even close to as good. No. But it's what we use now. Now we just wound more ducks and geese, I guess. I don't know.
I did find that section of the article where it said that the alternatives work as well or better than lead. Well, no, they really don't.
Not even close.
No, there was a bunch of falsehoods in that particular article. Anyway, all right, let's not beat that particular lead horse again. Next one from Barend. How do you pronounce that?
Barend.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Hey guys and gal. Hello from Manitoba. I found your podcast a month or two ago and have been listening as I can. Mostly your podcast in my car or work truck, but a couple of times on YouTube. I've been enjoying it quite a bit and was super happy to find a Canadian firearms podcast with Canadian content. It's been great to learn some more about the broader firearms community across Canada and a more in-depth education about a lot of issues we as a community face across the country. Through listening to your podcast, and especially episode 250 with Tracy, I finally decided to join the CCFR, and I help support one of our firearms organizations, as well as making a pledge on Slamfire's Patreon. I was also seriously considering making the trip out to take part in one or more of the Ferlacci handgun courses, since I believe I could greatly benefit for some proper instruction instead of muddling through learning from the friends and on YouTube. So if you would be able to email me the course schedule and costs, and that's so that I can see if I can afford taking the time off and afford the transit costs. Thanks. Anyway, thank you for your podcast, and I look forward to listening more in the future. Are there spaces left for this year's Ferlacci? I forget.
The one in the one in New Brunswick, or the one in Alberta? Because Alberta, there's room. Yeah, I would assume, guys in Manitoba. Yeah, you can drive out to. Now the place in Alberta that we're hosting this at is actually quite far east in Alberta, so it's not bad to get to. You can take Highway 16 from, and I think, and just kind of cruise right through. Like I said, there's camping there. I believe it's $200 a day, and there's camping and whatnot available on site. And it's July 14th and 15th. So
yeah, it's like 300-400 rounds for the weekend, something like that.
Lots. Bring lots.
Lots is good.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
I got it. From Derek. Good day. I'm a fairly new listener to your podcast. Enjoyed every episode I've watched. I've heard Age a couple times about having moved his videos to the Pornhub website. After explaining to one of your fellow hosts that I had tried for hours and hours while trying to explain to my wife that it's hunting videos I was looking for, I was not able to find the content. His advice was to ask Adriel for an explanation on the next podcast. I and my marriage thank you for your help. Do you think he was really looking for my content? Is this a cover? This email that he's sending?
I think he is a brother husband, and we need to help him out. So,
okay,
where do you find your stuff on Pornhub?
Pornhub.com/users/hunting gear guy.
Cool. That doesn't sound very hard.
And it's still up. They haven't banned it yet.
I'm waiting for Pornhub to decide that the gun owners are too controversial for them and they can't have them. Anyway. All right. From Mark Price. Hello, Slamfire Radio team. And Brian, I guess. Last week, Trevor was talking about the Ronnie DeGroot Steel Challenge and how it's turning into a big event with many people not knowing who Ronnie DeGroot is. While I did not know Ronnie before going to this event last year, I really appreciate the kind words that Trevor had for him and the effect he has had on the shooting snowmobile community. Shooting / snowmobile community. Not a community of people who shoot snowmobiles. No, that's not right. This was my first gun competition ever and was the event to give me the competition bug. So while I never knew Ronnie DeGroot, I will never forget him. May his legacy continue as this event continues to grow. Cheers to Ronnie. I actually did a shot. Mark Price. P.S. My plan was to beat Brian this year, but since he bailed in the event, I guess I'll have to settle with beating Trevor again. Ooh.
Fighting words.
Nice. Alrighty. You want to take the next one from Mr. Bork?
Yes, I've got the one from James. Hey, Slamfire listeners, just wanted to tell you, Trevor definitely knows Victoria's secret. Write in and take a guess on what you think it could be. Keep your stick in a vise. P.S. A little bit of danger will keep you on your toast.
Awesome. I don't need to know what any of that means.
It seems like it's in code.
And I'm good with not knowing the password. Okay. From Sharp97, I was wondering why you, Trevor, didn't just use a jam nut or washer or similar option. And this is in reference to the flash hider on Trevor's Kitty Cat DPMS build. Also, I don't want to hear any more complaining about how Frosty got a sandwich. The shawarma you and Matthew got should have covered that phenomenon.
Ooh, the phenomenon with the fan in it. I like it.
Yeah, well done. Good to hear from you guys from time to time. Missing caffeinated Matthew. Who's Matthew? I don't know.
Caffeinated Matthew.
Caffeinated. I'm not sure who.
Uncaffeinated Matthew. Yeah, caffeinated Matthew.
He continues. P.S. Trevor, I really liked your go button moment about teachers being armed. I also like the libertarian one, but don't have anything to add. I find in today's soundbite news, our arguments have become the same, and things that should be spoken out are being assumed by one side or the other. PPS, Trevor, when are you getting a Jericho 941? You said something about duty pistols, and I happen to think this one is very underrated. Quite common here, but not really talked about. Yeah, the Jericho doesn't get a lot of love.
No,
it doesn't. No.
For what it is, it doesn't.
No, it's a CZ, but different, basically, right?
Well, the steel one you can get is really cheap. Like the price is incredible on it.
Yeah.
But
there's no aftermarket support for it, right? Like,
not a lot. No.
Well. Anyway, if you would like to email the show, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. iTunes reviews. We have some. You want to take this one?
Sure.
Cool.
The author is always late to the party. Store Canada, 5 stars. Title is Craziness at its Best. Review. Tune in for a hand gunneling good time, any laughs. Tune in to hear about small animals being shot in the face. Hey, they were asking for it. No clowns permitted, but a bag of dicks and glitter bombs are welcome.
Yeah, awesome. I'm good with not having received any of those. I don't need.
You haven't. I got your address.
No, I'm good. I'm good. All right, cool. We're just about done. Shoutouts. Adriel, have you got any shoutouts this week?
Nope.
Oh, awful. Okay, I'm going to give a shout out to all the shooters and especially the staff who were at the Precision Rimfire event this past weekend. I really felt bad for the staff because at least us shooters got to shoot and have fun in the cold. The staff were just being staff and doing staff things and doing it well. So hat off to you, gentlemen. Now that I'm in the warm house, I wouldn't take my hat off during the event because it was cold. That wasn't smart. So Patreon supporters, we are up to, has this been updated? I don't think this has been updated since, so we don't have anything new news on Patreon.
I just sent out a bunch of patches. So if you were a Patreon before the weekend, it's on its way. After the weekend, get to it.
Cool. And if you would like to support the show, go to www.patreon.com/slamfireradio. We appreciate the support. And Kelly did ask for lawyers, guns, and money, and lawyers and guns and money all cost money. So Patreons, we need some support. If you want to see Kelly come back, dig deep. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, cool. Listeners, please join one or more of our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR or the CSSA, or anybody else who you think might be helpful. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. And that's it. Good night. Adriel, say good night to the listeners.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.